Hello everyone. So let us talk about a very important element of English grammar, which is tense. Yes, I know this tense makes a lot of students very tense. But trust me, once you understand it, once you get the hang of it, it will be like easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it's really easy once you understand the system that goes with the tenses. So before we understand the tense, what we need to understand is that tense is a representative of the time of action. It tells you about the time when the action happened, or when the action is happening, or when the action will happen. So that is a simple explanation of tense. So it tells you about the time of action. So that means this tense, because it is action, this tense is associated with verb. So the verbs, all the verbs that are there, they need to be conjugated in the different tenses, right? Before we come to the concept of tense and how the verbs are conjugated in different tenses, let us first understand the concept of a sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is something meaningful which completes a meaning, right? So sentence is an expression of a thought that completes the meaning, right? So a sentence will essentially have a verb, right? So verb is a very important part of a sentence. That is why it is very important to talk about what time the verb is happening, or what time is the verb related to. So a sentence will always have a verb, and most of the times it has a subject as well. So subject simply means that we are talking what the sentence is talking about. That constitutes the subject of the sentence. So subject is always accompanied by a verb. A subject in itself has no meaning. So there will be sentences when there will be just a verb, like if I write run, this is a complete sentence. If I write stop talking, this is a complete sentence in itself because it completes the meaning. Now here the subject cannot be seen. The subject is hidden. Why is the subject hidden? Because these type of sentences, they are imperative sentences, or sentences that are spoken directly to someone. So in these cases, the subject of the sentence is you. Because if I say run, I'm asking you to run. If I say stop talking, I'm obviously not asking myself to stop talking, or asking some third person to stop talking. So I'm asking you to stop talking. So here the subject is pretty apparent. Otherwise, the subject is every time mentioned in a sentence. Now let us understand what the subject is and what types of subjects are there. Because the verb changes according to the subject. The verb and the subject, they are very closely linked. And since the verb changes according to the subject, the tenses also change according to the substance. The conjugation of the verb in different tenses will also change according to the subject. So when we are talking about the subject, we are talking about first person, second person, and third person. So first person is the speaker, which is I or we. So if a sentence says I speak, then it means that I is the subject and this sentence has first person associated with the verb. So the verb is going to change according to the first person. If it is you speak, so here the subject is second person, means when the sentence is addressed to the other person. You speak, that means I am speaking to you. You speak. So the second person is you. For the third person, when we are talking about something else which is neither I nor you, so third person is neither I nor you, so the third person becomes he, she, it or they. When we're talking about third sorry when we're talking about a third person, the person who is not present, so we are talking about the third person over here. So the third person also, the verb conjugation is different. Now what you need to remember is that with every conjugation in present tense, now for past tense and future tense there is no changes as such, but when we are talking about present tense, that means when we are speaking about something right now or simply stating a fact, in present tense, if the subject is third person singular. What do we mean by third person singular? Means if the subject is he, she, it, and when I say he, she, it, I mean any noun, any person, a single person. We're talking about one thing single. So it could be he, she, it, Ram, Sita, Ravan, Lakshman, Mahabali, anybody, Rita, Nita, anyone. Okay. So when I'm talking about it, when I'm saying it could be any noun. It could be any noun that we are talking about. It could be a tree, it could be a bird, it could be a fruit, it could be an object, anything. So but it should be singular. So when we are talking about singular, the verb conjugation is this. Third person singular always needs an S. So remember that whenever a third person singular is being conjugated, there will be an S expressed in the verb somewhere. So if it is like I speak, you speak, he speaks, so the S comes over here. So this is one very important rule that you need to remember before you start conjugating the verbs in the various tenses. So in present tense, remember, this is applicable only for present tense, not for any other tense, just for present tense. The third person singular will carry an S with it. Okay, now let us move on to the topic of tenses. So let me erase all this over here, and I hope that you are now clear on the subject of the subjects, right? So it's first person, second person, third person, and whether it is singular or plural. And as I said, third person singular is the most important of all, because it will require an S everywhere along with its verb. So a third person singular always needs an S. Now let us talk about the tenses. So tenses, as it says, it talks about the time of action. So the time of action, there are 3 time zones. The present, when we are talking about now. The past, when something has happened previously. So from the present, when you go back, you move to past tense. And from the present, when you move forward, you move to the future. So something that is going to happen. So what is coming up? next. So from now to previously happened to happening next. So this is what defines the present tense, the past tense and the future tense. Hope you are clear on this, and if you are not clear, then as we go on along with the examples, you will be able to understand it better and better. So let us say in the present tense, I write, I speak, right? So it simply means, it is simply stating a fact, I speak. And when we're talking about sentences, so let me just tell you that we will also be talking about the 3 most common types of sentences that are in use, that we are going to study over here. So when I say I speak, it simply means that I am putting up a fact, that I speak. Yes, it is just stating a fact. So these type of sentences are known as assertive sentences. Assertive sentence means they just state a fact, right? So it is a fact, I speak. There is no nonsense over here, I speak. And if it is to be mentioned in the past tense, we will use the past form of speak, which is I spoke. So this present form of the verb, it changes into spoke, the past form. Then if I talk about future, then it will be I will speak. So in future tense you will find that will is attached. Shall is also attached. It's the same thing almost. But generally for learning purpose we will just take up will, so that you are not confused too much. So this one, I speak, is in the simple form, I spoke is in the past form, and I will speak is in the future form. That means I am going to speak sometime in future. I speak means I am speaking right now. So this is talking about right now. I spoke means something that I did previously. So maybe yesterday I spoke, or maybe half an hour ago, or maybe 10 minutes ago, maybe even 2 minutes ago, because it is already past. It has moved back from now. And next I will speak maybe after 2 minutes, maybe after half an hour. So this is talking about what is going to happen next. So these type of sentences are called as assertive sentences. Now there is negation. Negation means that we are saying the opposite. I mean, it's not happening. The verb is not happening. So for negation, what we do is we use the form I do not speak, right? So the verb form that we need to discuss over here is to do. So in negation, we cannot simply write I not speak. We have to complete it by I do not speak when we are talking about past tense. And when we are talking about the past of to do, it becomes did. Do, the past tense of do is did. So over here it turns to I did not speak. When we come to future, future is the simplest of all. So the only change that comes over here is I will not speak. So only the not is added over here, and there is no extra thing that needs to be added. So in future it simply becomes I will not speak. Whereas in present and past form we have to take the help of to do or do. So I do not speak, and in past tense I did not speak, because how will you express it in negation? You cannot write I not speak, because you have to express clearly as to which tense we are using. So to identify the negation, the negative present tense we use do, and in negative past tense we use did. The same goes over here for remember the third person singular. The third person singular, as we said, third person singular always needs an S. So here he does not speak. So here it will be now he do not speak. That will be wrong. That is incorrect. He does not speak. So an S comes from for the singular, third person singular. But in past tense, nothing is needed. Remember, all these things are for present tense only. Right? So past tense, it will be the same. He did not speak. He will not speak. The same. But for the present tense, we need to have an S. So this S comes in the form of does. Now suppose if this was plural, I do not speak, we do not speak, you do not speak, they do not speak. I did not speak, you did not speak, we did not speak, he did not speak, they did not speak. For this past tense, everything is the same. But only for the present one. For future also everything is the same. I will not speak, he will not speak, they will not speak, you will not speak, we will not speak. For everything it will not speak. For everything it will remain the same. But for present, as I said, the third person singular, remember, he, she or it. Here it stands for anything, any noun that is there. So it will require an S. An S needs to be added, so this do turns into does. Okay. Now let us turn to the third type of statements that are there, which are interrogative. So assertive we can mention it as plus, where it is just simply stating a fact. Negation is like a minus, where we are negating something. This is something which was not done. So a verb which did not verb. So an interrogative is expressed as a question. So when we are talking about the interrogative form, remember, here we will be using the negative help. So, did he speak? Did he not speak? Did he speak? Did he not speak? Now this not and speak, they will remain together because it is defining the verb. The negation is with the verb. So not will always be accompanied by the verb. Did he not speak? Did not he speak? No. The verb will be along, the not will be along with the verb. Over here, does he speak? Does he not speak? Or now when we are making this interrogative, we will need the help of to do, right? So does he speak? And if I want to convert I speak into the interrogative form, I'll have to use do I speak or did I speak. Now remember, here it was speaks when we were using the singular form. In assertive, it will be he speaks. But when we are using does, we are not using speaks because one S is already there. We do not need two S's. As I said, just one S is needed. So, does he speak? So, this way we will use. So, that's why we are not using this S over here. And for future, it is the same. Will he speak? Will I speak? Just the order is changed. Will I speak? Will he speak? Or will I not speak? Will he not speak? And things like that. And as I said, this not and the verb, they are closely attached. You cannot separate them. So in negation, the not will always be attached to the verb. So these are the three types of sentences that you express in the present tense and the past tense and the future tense. Now remember, we are talking about simple past, simple present and simple future tense over here. Now, one more thing that we need to understand over here and learn over here is another type of verb, which is, let me use a different color, the to be verb. Just like to do verb, there is to be verb. To be verb means to simply be or exist. So in many statements in present tense, when we are expressing, you're just saying that this is this. So it is like if I say to be something, I am a teacher. Right. So where does this am come from? This am comes from to be. Being something. This means being something. So with I, we use am. With we, you and they, we use are. And with he, she, it. Remember, I said that we need an S. So here, with these three, again, the third person singular, he, she, it, there has to be an S. So with them we use is. I am a teacher. So you are a teacher. He is a teacher, right? He is a teacher, she is a teacher. So here we use is with them. This is all in present tense. Now if we talk about the past tense, so we saw that over here when we were talking about do, the past tense was did. But when we are talking about this to be over here, so here the past tenses, for do the past tense is the same for everyone, but here the past tenses, they change. So I am and are. So there are two past tenses for to be, and what are those past tenses? Those two past tenses are was and were. Was is for singular and were is for plural, right? So wherever are is used, you can simply say that are is converted to were, whereas am and is are converted to was, right? So if I am a teacher, how will this convert to the past tense? It will become I was a teacher, right? You are a teacher. Remember, are, how does are change into? Are changes into were. So it will be you were a teacher. He is a teacher. So is, remember, is किस में change होता है? Is और am change होता है was में. So he was a teacher, right? Now here they, अगर they होता तो क्या हो जाता? They, you remember, are changes into were, so it will have been they were teachers. Okay. So now what about, this is about the present and the past form. Now what about the future? Future tense, to be, it simply becomes will be. I will be a teacher. You will be a teacher. He will be a teacher. They will be a teacher. So you can see that the number does not matter for the future tense, whether it is singular or whether it is plural, like they will be a teacher, right? So everything singular or plural, it will always be, will be in future tense, whereas in present and past it changes. So if it is singular, it is like, as I said, I am, we are, you are, they are, but he is, she is, it is. And same goes for the past tense. If it is singular, it will change to was. If it is plural, more than one, it will change to were. And even with you, because you is conjugated as a plural, so you, even if I'm talking to one person, you were a teacher. So this is how it conjugates in the past tense. So we have talked about to do verb, to be verb. Now let us do a little bit of exercise and see if we have understood the concept of past, simple past, present and future or not. Let us take this as an example. So what I had over here was the major verbs are 12 verbs. You can see this over here. These are the 12 major verbs, and today we will talk about only 6 of them. And congratulations, you already know 3 of them, the simple ones. Simple past, simple present, simple future, you already know that. So we will just go through a quick check and see if we have understood these concepts. So I have a few exercises over here, and let us just check them out and see if we have understood the concept or not. And you can pause the video over here and go through all these questions, all these statements, and see if you are able to do them. I will do a select few from here, and let us take up this. Walter dashed to school last week. Now see, the verb here is go. Now remember, whenever we are conjugating, we have to check the subject. What is the subject? Is it first person, second person, or third person? If it is third person, it is neither I nor you. It is a third person, Walter. So we are talking about a third person, and Walter is the name of a person. So we are talking about one person. So remember, third person singular. It will always carry an S in its verb, right? So here, Walter goes. So over here, what we will do is, the verb will be conjugated as goes. Sorry. Walter goes to school. If it was in present tense, if the sentence was up till here, Walter goes to school. But the sentence here is the Walter go to school last week. Now this go last week means what? It has happened previously, so that means it is past, right? So since it is past, we will need to conjugate go into went. So we will write Walter went to school last week. Now, why dash you always sleep in front of the TV? Now remember, when we were talking about conjugations, so we were talking about is, am, are. Is, am, are, right? So to be, let me bring this up a little bit so that you are able to see it clearly. So you, remember, in question, in interrogation, we always have to bring the be form or the do form whenever we are talking about it. So interrogation, we will need to put it into the to be form or to do form. So over here, let us see. Why dash you always sleep in front of the TV? Now it is not something about doing, to do, okay? So so you can say it, acha, okay. So it's like you're doing something, you are into sleep, so it's asking you to put in the to do form, right? Sorry. So to do form you will put up. So over here you see, what did I say? Do I, what do, why do you always sleep in front of the TV? So here we will have to take help of do, because we cannot, interrogatives we cannot change them simply in that own form. So here we will have to take help of to do. So why do you always sleep in front of the TV? So in simple sentences you saw that we are taking the help of do I speak, do you sleep in front of the TV? So we are taking the help of do in the interrogative form. So whenever we are using the interrogative form in the simple present tense, we always take the do form. Then where do you often sit, right? Now you, so sit. अगर where, अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन होता तो where dash he often sit, तो क्या हो जाता है यहाँ पर? रिमेंबर ही शी के साथ क्या हम लगाते थे? एस आना जरूरी है. तो where does he often sit, यहाँ sits नहीं होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पर ऑलरेडी एक एस आ गया डज के फॉर्म में, राइट? नाउ who dashed behind the curtains last night? So remember, it is about past tense, last night. So stand का past tense होता है stood. So here we will write who stood behind the curtains instead of stand. So we simply put up the क्वेश्चन फॉर्म. ना यहाँ देखो यू नहीं है, दे नहीं है, ही नहीं है, शू नहीं है, यहाँ हु ही सब्जेक्ट बन गया है, इसीलिए डायरेक्टली वी विल यूज अप स्टूड फॉर्म. ओके, नाउ over here, why dash you here now? Be, to be. So to be form we have to use. This is now, so this is present tense, right? So present tense you के साथ क्या लगता है? are. So why are you here now, right? Acha. Here let us take up this next one more question. I dash not here because I was listening to music. Now I was listening to music. Was is past tense, remember? This means ये आधा past की बात हो रही है. तो ये भी जो है ये भी past tense में आएगा. This sentence is in past tense. So I could not hear you or I did not hear you. So to do हम use कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पर we will write I did, and remember not is always accompanied by the verb. So I did not hear you because I was listening to music. So did हमने देखा था सबके लिए सेम है, कोई भी I, she, he, सबके लिए, you, सबके लिए ये did सेम रहता है. There is no change in this. Okay. Now if you dash, I dash miss you. Now if you, this is talking about something right now, so we are talking about present. So if you leave, I will miss you, because it's going to happen something in the future. So if the person leaves now, the missing is going to happen in the future after some time. So this is where we use the future tense. Okay, so if we are to use let me give you a future tense over here. Just a minute. Okay, I go, the verb over here is go. evening, right? So what does it mean over here? We are talking about an event that is happening afterwards, right? So this was previously and this is happening afterwards. So it is happening in future. So the tense will be future and the sentence will be I will go to the park in the evening. So this you can pause the video right here and check out on all the sentences that are given over here and try practicing them and see if you are able to do them. And in the meantime, let us once you are done practicing with the simple forms, the simple present, the simple past, the simple future, after this let us move on to the continuous forms of the verb. So let us move on to the continuous tense. So same goes over here when we are talking about continuous tense. Continuous tense also we have the present, the future and the past. So when we are talking about past, we are talking about previous. When we are talking about present, we are talking about now. And when we are talking about future, we are talking about afterwards. So before, after and now. Now what does continuous mean? Continuous means the action continues. That means the action is still happening. So here the ing ending is provided. So the action continues. So action is still happening. So here in continuous tense when we are using now, we have to use the continuous word. It cannot be used without the to be part, right? So it's like so to be is because the action is continuing. So this is has come in. So we have to use the to be form over here. So to be is in present. What do we use for to be? In present we use am, are, is. These are the forms that we use in present. In past we use was and were, and in future we use will be. Okay, so these are excuse me, these are the to be forms that are required in the continuous tense. So let us check them out now and see how it works. So in present it will be I am speaking, you are speaking, he, remember he के साथ क्या लगता था, s चाहिए क्योंकि थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर है, is speaking, right? And they are speaking and things like that. So now how does this change into the past form? अब ये याद रखो कि only are, this in the past form when we are changing to past, then are will change to were, and as I said, am will change to was, and is will also change to was. So am and is will change to was, whereas are will change to were, right? So I am speaking. Now am changes to was. So it will become I was speaking. Now ing, remember ing is very common because this ing shows that the action is continuing. It is still happening, right? Are are changes into were. So it becomes you were speaking. He is speaking. Remember, is changes to was. He was speaking. Now if it was they are speaking, so are changes into were, right? So are will move on to were. So they were speaking. She is speaking. So this is will change to was. She was speaking. So this is the present and the past relation that you need to remember. Continuous tenses, always you have to use to be form plus the ing form. This will show that the sentence is in the continuous tense. The verb is in the continuous tense. If it is am speaking, are speaking, is speaking, then it is in present continuous tense. If it is was speaking, were speaking, then it is in past continuous tense. That is all you need to remember. Future, again very easy, as it says, will be form. So it will be I will be speaking. You will be speaking. He will be speaking. So no changes over here. So it is the same, does not depend whether the verb is a singular verb or a plural form. So I will be speaking, you will be speaking, he will be speaking, they will be speaking, everyone will be speaking. So this remains the same over here. So it is pretty simple to remember, right? Now let us take up a few exercises and see if you have understood this concept. So let us take this present one first. Present tense, I will put it over here and see if you have understood the concept of the present tense, right? So since we are using the present tense, let me put this over here and we can disregard the others. Okay. So we are talking about the present continuous tense. I dash a tree now. Now I am, I के साथ क्या लगता है? Am. I am planting a tree now. I am speaking. So am, to be form is am over here with I, and ing form, ing लगाना तो पड़ेगा, ing. I am planting a tree now. My sister, now my sister is third person singular. There is only one person over here, so it is singular. So it will take up is. Third person singular takes up is, right? So my sister is watching TV in the living room. She is talking on the phone now. Now my sisters, see the third person is there but it is plural. So my sisters are, instead of is, it will become are, right? So because it is plural. So you and they take are. So my sisters are riding their bikes. They are writing a letter. Children are watering the plants. The students are not studying. We are not cooking in the kitchen. Now let us move on to the interrogative form, the question form. So for question form, it is very easy. First change it into the assertive form, the statement form. So cook and she. So she is cooking, right? So is she cooking? Are they walking in the forest? Are you writing a story? Because it is they, it will take are. Because it is you, it will take are. Now here you see it is your brother. So a third person, but there is only one person, one brother. So it will take is. from over here. So because it is one person, it will take is from over here. So is your brother driving? Now you के साथ क्या आता है? Are. What are you doing? ing आएगा. Where she के साथ क्या आता है? Is. Where is she going? Why they के साथ क्या आता है? Are. Why are they crying? Right? So I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, they are. So which book he के साथ क्या आता है? Is. Which book is he reading? So you get that? It is really simple present continuous tense. So I would suggest that you pause the video once again and try out these exercises on your own, and then check with the video and see if you have gotten them correct. Now let us check out the past continuous tense. So let us put all of them into past continuous tense. Past continuous tense. Okay, so let us shift this over here and let us take this. When I was, we will simply use all past continuous over here. Wherever it is required, we will use past continuous. Wherever it is not possible for us to use past continuous, we will use simple past. When I was walking in the park yesterday, I was seeing नहीं होता. It is when you see something, it is not a process of continuously seeing something. You simply see something. So see का यहाँ पर हो जाएगा saw. I saw a little kitten under the bench. It to be it. यहाँ पर कंटिन्यूस नहीं हो सकता. हंग्री होने का प्रोसेस एक कंटिन्यूस ऐसा नहीं होता कि हंग्री होता चला जा रहा है. इफ यू आर हंग्री राइट. सो यूज द सिंपल पास्ट टेंस ओवर हियर. सो इट वॉज टू बी. यू रिमेंबर टू बी के फॉर्म्स हमने क्या बताए थे पास्ट में? या तो वर है या वॉज है, और इसके कंटिन्यूस फॉर्म्स होते हैं वॉज इंग, वर इंग. राइट. So when I was walking in the park. Now walking is a continuous process, so we can use the continuous tense over here. When I was walking in the park yesterday, we will not use I was seeing a little kitten under the bench. It was being very hungry. No, we cannot use it that way. I saw a little kitten under the bench. It was very hungry. That's all. I get up at 7 o'clock yesterday. Now when you get up, it is not a process of getting up. So you simply get up. So yesterday I got up yesterday. So you will not use the past continuous over here. While she, now while she means कि जब ये एक काम चल रहा था तब कुछ और हुआ. So that means this is a continuous process. So here we will use the past continuous form. While she was washing her hands and face, her mother came into the bathroom. Now her mother was coming into the bathroom गलत है, क्योंकि इसका मतलब है कि वो बाथरूम में आते जा रही थी, चलते जा रही थी, वो प्रोसेस कंटिन्यू था. इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. इट इज सिंपली अ फैक्ट दैट while she was doing, while an action was happening, her mother came. जिस समय वो अपने हाथ धो रही थी उस समय उसकी माँ आ गई. तो while she was washing her hands and her face, her mother came into the bathroom. अब ये what were you doing at 5 o'clock last Sunday? तो तुम उस समय क्या कर रहे थे? What was the thing which was happening at that time? So या इसको ऐसे भी करके पूछ सकते हैं. What did you do? Now both the options are correct over here. So it can also talk about something which was happening, an action was happening at that time. And it also can be like उस समय तुमने क्या किया. What did you do at 5 o'clock last Sunday? 5 o'clock के समय तुमने क्या किया था या तुम क्या कर रहे थे. So we can use both forms. What did you do at 5 o'clock last Sunday? और what were you doing at 5 o'clock last Sunday? उस समय क्या चल रहा था. I was watching TV. You cannot say I watched TV. बिकॉज एक स्पेसिफिक टाइम पूछा गया है कि उस समय पर क्या काम हो रहा था. सो दैट इज वाई यू नीड टू स्पेसिफाई दैट आई वॉज डूइंग दिस थिंग वॉज हैपनिंग एट दैट टाइम. Now, did you read this book yesterday? Were you reading this book yesterday? नहीं, कि इसका मतलब है कि क्या सारे दिन भर पढ़ रहे थे? नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है ना. So, did you read this book yesterday? No. No, I did not have any free time. So, यहाँ याद है हमने बोला था कि सिंपल स्टेटमेंट को नेगेटिव करने के लिए पास्ट में उनका या प्रेजेंट में नेगेटिव करने के लिए हमको आई डू टू डू वाले फॉर्म्स जो है वी नीड टू यूज टू डू वर्ब. सो फॉर नेगेटिव सेंटेंसेस वी नीड टू यूज टू डू. सो नो, आई डिड नॉट हैव एनी फ्री टाइम. सो ओवर हियर एज वेल इंटरोगेटिव के लिए भी और नेगेटिव के लिए क्वेश्चन जहाँ पे भी आए वहाँ भी हमको डू यूज करना पड़ता है. सो डिड यू रीड दिस बुक yesterday? Yesterday means past tense. No, I did not have any free time. Now while मतलब जिस समय नेली कुछ काम कर रही थी, तो इसका मतलब ये कंटिन्यूस चल रहा था काम. So while Nelly was counting the apples, Tom was writing the exercise. तो एक का काम ये था, नेली का काम था एप्पल्स काउंट करना, टॉम का काम था एक्सरसाइज लिखना. तो दोनों का काम साथ साथ चल रहा था. That's why both of them will be in the continuous tense. Last summer, John went to the sea with his parents. अब यहाँ पर was going नहीं, यहाँ went गया था. एक fact है, this is just a fact. He liked it a lot. यहाँ पर he was liking it a lot नहीं. It was not like a continuous process. It's a simple stated fact that he went to the sea and he liked it a lot. That's why we will use the simple past tense over here. When, देखो फिर आ गया while, when, ये सब जब आते हैं तो इसका मतलब कंटिन्यूस एक्शन कोई चल रहा था. when they were having lunch the telephone rang. यहाँ was ringing नहीं. इसका मतलब तो हुआ कि जितनी देर वो लोग लंच खाते रहे उतनी देर टेलीफोन बजता रहा. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना. ये बता रहा है कि जिस समय वो लंच खा रहे थे उस समय टेलीफोन बजा, टेलीफोन की घंटी बजी. So when they were having lunch, the telephone rang. That's why here we will use past continuous, here we will use simple past. While mom, now again while आ गया तो इसका मतलब एक एक्शन चल रहा है. While mom was cleaning the room, dad was reading a newspaper. तो ये दोनों काम साथ साथ चल रहे थे. Remember यहाँ भी हमने किया था while Nelly was counting the apples, Tom was writing the exercise. So two actions are happening simultaneously. So while mom was cleaning the room, dad was reading the newspaper. Last Tuesday at 4 o'clock, Bob was playing football with his friends. So this is like 4 o'clock Bob क्या कर रहा था, तो वो काम ऑलरेडी चल रहा था. So ऐसा नहीं कि बॉब ने 4 बजे ही खाली बस 4 बजे खेला, उसके बाद आगे पीछे कुछ नहीं खेला, पहले भी नहीं खेला बाद में भी नहीं खेला. So it's like at 4 o'clock he was still playing. So Bob was playing football with his friends. So that is that about the past, the past continuous tense. And let us now move on to the future continuous tense. So future continuous tense, as I said, will be, some may, will be. So let us look at this, and you can see from over here. I will just make it a bit short so that you can see the entire exercise in one go. So यहाँ कुछ नहीं करना है. फ्यूचर कंटिन्यूस सिर्फ विल बी इंग. I will be seeing John on Monday. My dad will be opening his new garage. Jake will be joining. Mary will be visiting. He will be playing. I will be shopping. James will be talking. My aunt will be cleaning. So everywhere here I will be going. So all the statements over here, when you are converting them to the future tense, future continuous tense, then everything changes to will be ing form. Okay, so I hope that your concepts of all the three forms of tenses, the simple present, the simple past, the simple future, and the present continuous, the past continuous, and the future continuous is clear to you. So I hope that you will be able to, you can pause the video anytime and you can look at the exercises and solve those exercises. And I had one more exercise that I wanted to share with you all. So I had got one more exercise. Where did that exercise go? Just a minute. Let me just look through as to where did it go. Let me just squeeze it in a bit so that I can relocate the exercise that I had. Oh, that's that. Sorry. So no more. Okay then. Oh, I'm sorry, I was mistaken that I had one more exercise with me. So let it be. So over here you can pause the video at any time, check out on these exercises, practice them as much as you want, and I hope to see you next time when we do the other two tenses that are there over here in the list. That is, so here that we saw, you're already done with simple past, simple present, simple future, past continuous, present continuous, future continuous, and we will next time we will do past perfect, present perfect, future perfect, past perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. So take care everyone, till then, bye bye, see you next time.